You might be wondering, you're doing all the exercises that your physio or doctor gave you for your osteoarthritic knee, but your knee pain is just not getting any better. Hi guys, my name is Alex Blaževski. I've been a physiotherapist for over 22 years, and I do have an answer for you. So my explanation is going to come in three parts. And my explanation is based on my own experience working in private practice, but also based on the latest research, okay? So reason number one, and that is a lack of consistency and structure. Let me explain. So I see this all the time. Patients are given exercises, they start doing them, but after a few weeks, it kind of gets a bit daunting, gets a bit boring, life gets in the way, and the consistency starts to drop off. It starts to fade away. So the person might be doing the exercises quite religiously for a couple of weeks, and then after a couple of weeks, they drop off, something happens, they get distracted, and then they literally they do nothing for a few days, then they try again, and then they sort of go on and off, okay? So consistency is super, super important. Like, you could be given the best exercise in the world for your knee, but if you're not doing it consistently, it's not going to work. So it's really less about what exercises you are given, although of course they have to be the right exercises, but it's more about, are you sticking to it consistently for long enough to get a really good result? And I'd like to add, more is not better. So again, another pitfall that I see with some of my patients is that sometimes a personal trainer, they might see another personal trainer, or they might see another physio, and they're given this whole list of 20, 30 different exercises. And the patient thinks, oh, great, I've got so many exercises, it must be really good for me. The thing is, if you're given so many exercises, the chances are you're probably not going to do these exercises consistently, because let's face it, there's only 24 hours in a day. If you're given 30 exercises, well, it's going to take you 2 or 3 hours every day to do it. What are the chances that you're actually going to stick to it long enough to actually get a really good result? So I've tested this many times myself. Less exercise, fewer exercises that you do consistently is much better than giving a whole list of exercises that you only do once or twice a week. And here's another factor that kind of feeds into this, okay? We as human beings, we get bored really easily, okay? So we always chase the next shiny object. I love this phrase. So we're given a set of exercises, again, we do them for a few weeks, and then we find out, oh, this is another program, maybe on Facebook, or you saw it on the YouTube channel or somewhere else on social media. You're being promised amazing results if you try this other program. Okay, so you try this other program, you abandon the old program, and then after another few weeks, you see another program and you try something else again. So you never really stick to the same program long enough to actually get a decent result. Okay, and the chances are all of these programs they would have given you some result only as long as you stuck to it long enough to actually see the result. So essentially what you need is accountability. Someone who is going to keep an eye on you, check on you, to make sure to keep you on track, okay? Because again, we as human beings, we're just it's so easy for us to go off the track, to try something new, instead of actually sticking to what we actually need to do long term. Okay, so accountability is massive. And the easiest way to get accountability is to either get a coach, a personal trainer, a physio who can actually look after you, check on you, keep an eye on you. That way, and this has been tested in our fitness facility, because people are being held accountable, they know that every couple of weeks, someone's going to check on them. They're actually a lot more likely to stick to the program long enough to get a result. Really quickly, guys, if you want to get a free copy of our knee strengthening guide that we put together specifically for people over 50, just comment knee down below in the comment section and we'll send the guide to you straight away. Now, reason number two why you're not getting any better despite doing exercises for your knee is you may only be pulling one lever. So let me explain. So you might be doing the right exercises and maybe you've been doing them long enough and you expect to see a result, which is fair enough, okay? But maybe it's not enough. Maybe you need to do something else. So for example, if you're carrying a bit of extra weight, it would definitely help to lose a few kilos. Maybe depending on the stage of your knee arthritis, you may need some pain medication. Again, this is the topic that you need to be speaking to your doctor about. I'm not supposed to give you any advice on medication, but it is a reality. If your arthritis is bad enough, sometimes you need to have some kind of pain relief to to keep you functional and to keep your pain levels under control. Other factors might include the appropriate footwear. So there have been some studies done, and we know that there are particular types of shoes, particularly the insoles, that may actually cushion the impact when you're walking. Therefore, it can actually make your knee pain significantly better. Getting enough sleep is another factor. So you need to be pulling more than one lever. And if you are overweight, if you're carrying extra kilos, that would probably be one of the ones that I'd be looking at first. Okay, so there's been a study done. And what they found is that people who went on a diet and lost a few kilos, their knee pain improved by 25%. Then they also looked at a different population, different sample of population. These are the people who only did exercise. They did not diet. They only did the exercises for their knee, and their pain improved by 28%. Okay. Now, another sample of the population, they did both. They did the dieting, so they lost some weight, but they also did the right type of strengthening exercises for their knee. Now, their pain improved by 51%. So you can pull two levers at the same time, and it gives you, it adds up. So the result, it amplifies. And so therefore, the more levers you pull, the better you can expect your knee pain to be. Another piece of research I want to quote here to prove my point is, so some research has been done to investigate the effect of weight loss on knee pain, particularly in people with knee arthritis. And they found that by losing as little as 10% of body weight, and some, 10 to 20%, it can actually not only can improve your pain levels, it also helps to improve your function, your ability to walk, and it generally improves your quality of life. So you only need to lose as little as 10% of your body weight. So let's say if you're currently 100 kilos, losing 10 kilos would actually go a long way in terms of improving your knee pain and your overall quality of life. Right, and this reason number 3 why your knee pain may not be getting better despite your best efforts to rehab it and do the right exercises. This one is a little bit more complex, so give me a minute and I'll explain what it means, okay? So it's based on the principle of central sensitization, okay? So what it means is that in some people, your central nervous system goes a little bit haywire, okay? So even a very mild sensation of pain may be misinterpreted in your brain, and you may feel it as a very agonizing, severe pain. So basically, the pain signal gets amplified, or the volume of your pain gets turned up disproportionately to the actual physical damage in your joints. So someone with even relatively low levels of osteoarthritis may actually be experiencing very severe pain because of central sensitization. So how do you know you have central sensitization? Well, it's a diagnosis that definitely needs to be made by a qualified doctor. But the things to look out for is when your pain starts to spread further away from your knee. So for example, you might be getting pain in your thigh or below the knee, or even sometimes it goes to your hip. You might be getting tingling, kind of numbness sensations, burning, that kind of thing. So things that are quite unusual to a typical kind of knee discomfort, okay? Now, there are some factors that put you at a higher risk of getting central sensitization. So there's been a lot of research and they found that there's association between very high stress levels and the risk of you getting central sensitization. So if you are experiencing a lot of stress in your life right now, try and manage that stress better. So there's a couple of things you can do. You could try meditation. That's been proven to help you reduce your stress levels. Maybe just get engaged in activities that you love to do to take your mind off things. A bit of social support. That all these things can actually help manage your stress levels. Another factor that might put you at high risk of getting or being or suffering from central sensitization is lack of good sleep, quality sleep. Okay, so if you know that you're not getting good sleep, maybe look at your sleep patterns, try and improve them, try to go to bed at the same time every day, try to sort of bring in some sleep hygiene. Okay, so there's a few things you can do to try and improve your sleep patterns. Another factor that can also contribute or put you at a higher risk of getting central sensitization is depression. Now, if you know that you have depression, or if you suspect you might be depressed, I would definitely encourage you to go and speak to your doctor and see if you can put a plan together to manage that a little bit better. But essentially, central sensitization is a concept where the pain that you actually feel is disproportionately higher than what the physical damage is in your knee, and therefore doing the exercises, doing the rehab may not help your pain as much as if you were just getting normal knee pain. Okay, so that could be another explanation why your knee pain may not be getting any better. All right, guys, so these are the three reasons that I come across in my practice frequently. To explain why people who are actually exercising, who are doing the right type of exercises for their knee, may not be getting the result that they want. Check out our videos at the top where we show you the proven exercises that help to strengthen your knee and improve your pain levels.